Where is this guy? Oh my god, I left him on the bus. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about games 36 and 37, and kind of just the Yankee series as a whole. So, TLDR, very much misread an email yesterday. Thought it was a 1 hour bus ride to a softball game. Instead, it was a 3 hour bus ride, and then on the way back, the bus broke down. Thanks for that flat tire, by the way, universe. And I just couldn't get the video out last night. Still dealing with some technical difficulties. Also didn't say this, but the last Astros video was edited on my phone instead of my laptop. It was a really bad time for everything to go against me. Another thing that went against me were the Astros, because the first game, they get killed. It was 10-3. Really felt like 10-1. Game 2 last night, they also get killed. 9-4. Not great. Arrieta was not good. What do you expect? And then you have tonight's game where they actually managed to grab the getaway game. They win 4-3. They salvage something out of the series. And you at least have that. You at least have that. They end up going 1-6 against the Yankees this year. And their only win was kind of this weird mess where you almost gave it back to them. You took a 3-0 lead after the first inning with homers from Alvarez and John Singleton, by the way, who kind of is good. Is he good? I feel like he might actually kind of be good right now, which is really weird. Who, if you would go back in time, and this is what I want a time machine for, not to go back and actually solve world problems, but to tell people weird sports statistics and weird sport facts. Imagine going back to that innocent, February 2023 Weston, and telling him, hey, you know what? The Jose Abreu signing is going to work out so poorly that John Singleton is going to come in and wipe him off the face of the map. Can you imagine? Can you imagine being told that John Singleton would be far and away the best first baseman they have this year? And probably the best first baseman over these past 2 seasons. And my voice went to a new octave because it couldn't comprehend the sentence I just spoke. But you get the 3-0 lead. Ronel Blanco pitched a really good game. 5 2/3, only gave up 2 runs, 1 homer, struck out 5. The 4 walks isn't great. But you know what? 5 2/3 of 2-run ball, I'm not going to be picky. Do not care at all. You had Abreu come in. He looked pretty damn solid. Picked up 3 strikeouts in an inning in the third. Presley did not look good. Gave up the home run. Kind of thought it was going to tip over right there. I think everyone did. Then you have Josh Hader come in. Gets out of the 8th. Gets you through the 9th inning. Picks up a win, picks up a strikeout. Well, he picks up a save, but the Astros pick up a win. And what you're left with from this series is a weird mess where I say you're going to learn the season from this. You're going to learn if they are good and can take that momentum and do something proactive with it, and then also take the hardship of that final 2 games of the Mariner series and rebound, or if they're just going to lie down and die. And mileage is going to vary on how you interpret this series. I think there are 2 interpretations, and I think both of them have points. I think I'm probably closer to the first one, which is I just don't think it's it. I think, and I've said this a bunch of times, the only thing worse for a sports team than making a mistake, because a mistake isn't bad. You can make mistakes. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Baseball is a game predicated on failure. The best players in the sport fail 60% of the time. The best players in history fail 50% of the time. The best season in the history of the sport was 40% failure. It's predicated on it. It's built upon it. The only thing worse than making a mistake is not admitting that you made a mistake. The Astros last year were given a polite offer from the baseball world to admit that they probably made a couple of mistakes in the offseason of 2022 going into 2023 and correct them during the season, and they didn't. They doubled down on them, and it didn't do them much good. Yes, I understand that they ended up going to Game 7 of the ALCS. They couldn't win a home game. And I'm not trying to insult the Twins, but dude, the team they beat were the Twins. Like, I'm not going to pretend they beat some hulking powerhouse. And now they make moves in the offseason. Now the baseball world is not giving them a polite little way to acknowledge that they've made mistakes, and they need to correct those failures. They have to correct them. They have to fix the farm system, and it's going to take selling some assets. It's not going to be a fun process. It's going to suck kind of a lot, but they have to do it. Because the only thing worse than making a mistake is making it again. I think this team just needs to go into sell mode. And I understand that Dana Brown said they're not in sell mode and they're too talented to do that. I don't believe that at all. I think the fact that he brought it up speaks to the fact that that's probably the direction they're going to go, if I'm being honest. Or you can have the interpretation, that is the likely interpretation, or the interpretation of, hey, they got one. They managed to win one against the Yanks. Really freaking good team. And they were able to steal one of them. And if that's your opinion, that's cool. I applaud you for it. You are probably happier than I. Until they get into a playoff spot, I don't know that I can get that high on this team again. I'm not saying that in a happy tone of voice. You can tell that there is no timber in it. But I think that's just the reality of it. I think until they find their way back into a playoff spot, at least find their way back to 500, I just can't get on board right now. I'm not going to say they're a bad team because I just don't like saying it. But if it walks like a duck, and it looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, and it's got the webbed feet of a duck, the chances are it's probably a duck. And I think this team is probably a duck. So the Astros now will start a new series tomorrow evening in Detroit against the Tigers. First game will be at 6:40 Eastern, 5:40 Central. The Astros are going to send Framber Valdez to the mound, and the Tigers are going to send Casey Mize to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.